Hello and welcome. So, after watching one scene in Isekai Quartet, a gag-fueled chibi-style crossover anime, I asked myself one question. Gags and all aside, could Aqua battle and defeat Ainz Ooal Gown, the Undead Overlord of Nazarick? Well, first and foremost, let's establish an important fact, okay? Any battle is akin to a single dice roll. It's always about chances and risks rather than about absolute certainty. And any theoretical battle is more about percentages, describing the likelihood of success or failure, of victory or defeat. For example, Khajiit had only a 30% chance of defeating Clementine, and Ainz had only a 40% chance of winning against Chaltier, according to Kokaitis. So please take anything I will say here with a grain of salt. And please also remember that battles are usually a one-time occurrence, and as long as you don't fight to the death, they are not really representative. So despite all of the advantages Ainz has, he still could lose to Climb. Sorry, I just had to make this joke. But if we take this battle serious, we firstly have to translate Aqua's status as a goddess into the game system of Yggdrasil. So the question then is, which level and which stats should Aqua be given? Well, considering she's a literal goddess in the flesh, and that her stats were maxed out right from the beginning, I would give her the benefit of the doubt and make her a full level 100 goddess, with classes specializing in faith and water magic alongside some close quarter jobs and abilities. As such, she would have HP and physical defense akin or even superior to Ainz, but her mana reserves should be slightly weaker and her spell variety greatly limited. And while Aqua's intelligence is the micro-penis of her stats, her faith, due to her delusion and great self-image, is likely extremely well developed, which indicates that most of her points saved by virtue of her being really stupid should be allocated to other stats as well, mainly faith. Additionally, she comes with her team consisting of Kazuma, Megumin, and Darkness, as well as her followership. After all, she is a goddess. So as a faith caster specializing in holy damage and purging the undead, backed up by the rest of her party, Ainz is up against a very difficult enemy, and once again finds himself in a very disadvantageous fight. But in stark contrast to the battle against Chaltier, Ainz is able to summon as he pleases, since Aqua can't heal herself via damage dealing, and Kazuma's drain ability might actually hurt him way more than the other way around due to Ainz's touch of Undead. But please keep also in mind that higher summons would cost Ainz Ooal Gown his hard-earned XP, and therefore he's unlikely to summon Death Emperors or other high-level undead than on his own. And with all of that said, we are ready for the battle. But before we pit Ainz against Aqua herself, let's have him deal with the rest of her party. First and foremost, her followership would do battle against Ainz's newly founded cult. And while Aqua has problems to gain the hearts of her follower base, Nea, the blind evangelist, aims straight for their heads. So if both factions would see eye to eye, Nea and her cult would have the clear upper hand. Ainz could also use some of his trash drops and summon a few dozen goblins in order to keep Darkness busy. And while Kazuma is considered extremely weak by Nazarick standards, especially really early on, and his freeze spells and his arrows aren't much of an issue, he has one great strength. Kazuma is the only somewhat intelligent adult in the entire group, and thus he could make up for Aqua's low intelligence stats. And his luck is otherworldly, and with his steel ability, he can take Ainz's greatest possession, his world item. So Ainz should probably take this player character out first, via Part or via creating a Soul Eater or two, which would then be able to ride the low-level Kazuma down, and with his soul devoured by the Soul Eater, the skeletal steed would be able to stay in the material plane of existence indefinitely. So Kazuma proves once more that even death is no mercy to him. But maybe at some point in the far future, when the Soul Eater is destroyed, Ares will help him with his plan B. And after killing Kazuma, the Soul Eater could then turn around and attack Lalatina's rear, while she's busy with the goblins on her front end. And this combined approach would bring the Crusader to her knees, taking her out of the fight. Next on, Ainz faces a rather difficult challenge, Megumin. And while Ainz could defend himself against the fire and bludgeoning damage of Explosion by buffing his defense and by relying on his god-tier Fashion Soul's outfit, which grants him a 100% immunity to fire-based damage, it would be much better for him to create a Death Knight, who specializes in drawing the aggro from enemies, in order to simply tank Megumin's explosion, which is after all a one-time danger, simply because Megumin hasn't the mana reserves required from multiple castings. Additionally, Ulbert Elaine Oddle has a similar A-patch and trump card, Grand Catastrophe. Akin to Megumin's explosion, this secret arcana is well known to Ainz, as Ulbert and Momonga were close friends, and therefore the Undead Overlord should be able to recognize the danger Megumin poses, as well as a way to adequately counter it. So once summoned, this Undead Knight is able to draw the attention of Megumin, and akin to a certain annoying Pokemon, is also able to survive any attack with 1 HP left, even Explosion, so therefore it could tank Megumin's devastating magic without being completely destroyed, which will lead to the following battle: Immobile Megumin versus a Death Knight on the very brink of death. Interesting. Now with her party accounted for, only Aqua remains, who could and most certainly would sacrifice her teammates in order to buy time. Time she could use for attacking Ainz while he is busy. And here it gets very dangerous for the Undead Overlord. Her attacks, such as God Blow, are devastating, as they deal holy damage and bludgeoning damage, which both is extremely effective against Ainz. But here's the catch: with Megumin battling the Death Knight and the other party members taken care of, Ainz is free to switch to his holy resistant monk outfit. Sacrificing looks for defense, he could be able to resist or at least lessen the damage inflicted by Aqua's holy attacks. And this line of thought brings me to my main argument against Aqua. While she might be Ainz's equal stats and level-wise, and has many deadly advantages against the undead, Ainz had managed to outsmart and outmaneuver Shaltir Bloodfallen, the strongest floor guardian in regards to direct one-on-one engagement, and outmaneuvering Aqua, both mentally and location-wise, is akin to outmaneuvering a particular slow and stupid rock. Ainz once again could simply pretend that holy damage is effective against him, while staying away from direct confrontation and her God Blow attacks via fly and teleportation magic. The only problem is that Aqua might be too stupid to realize that her holy damage should be effective against undead, despite the fact that her entire purpose as a goddess of water and purity is to purge the undead. But still, due to her intelligence or the lack of it, she seems unable to recognize the plain, obvious effects of her own spells. This might be the reason why Aqua might be able to catch Ainz off guard and get some serious blows in. Though even if killed, which is very unlikely, Ainz has a Ring of Rebirth, which would revive him on the spot. So the Overlord has room for errors. But still, due to Aqua's erratic behavior, the leader of the Supreme Beings might even be forced to use Perfect Unknowable to disengage, heal, and buff himself, in order to bring this fight to its inevitable conclusion. And while Grasp Part might only stun Aqua, because I once more grant her the benefit of the doubt, it is still more than enough to buy a few seconds of time for an instant super tier magic spell, thanks to Ainz's cash shop items. And among his 30 super tier spells, Ainz has Pantheon, which summons 6 4-winged angel guardians, the so-called Cherubian Gatekeepers. As holy beings, they should be able to deal with Aqua's holy attacks without any problems, And even if Aqua is somehow able to beat them, their high tankiness, their superior numbers, and their great sensory abilities will buy Ainz enough time to activate his final trump card. The goal of all life is death, which would one-shot Aqua, who's likely busy running around like a buffoon at this point in time, thusly making Ainz victorious. Now, I know what you want to say. You might think that it is rather unfair to pit Ainz against Aqua's entire team, but this is the only scenario in which Aqua has at least a chance of winning against Ainz Ooal Gown. If we take Momonga's party, aka the Great Tomb of Nazarick, into account, then Aqua would fall instantly, like a particular stupid puppet whose strings alongside everything else has been cut, burned, sliced open, burned again, fried, electrocuted, dissolved in acid, and many other interesting things. Let's be realistic here. There are countless ways the Great Tomb could win without any permanent damage, but still Aqua and her party might give the head defensive officer quite a headache, while a large and high-level army commanded by Demiurge himself, who was created as a demon general, will be most certainly victorious. This demon might run into some rather unexpected difficulties. He can't read Aqua's actions and account for them due to his inability to predict the actions of fools. Megumin might remind him way too much of his creator, Ainz Ooal, and Darkness might actually enjoy the Happy Farm, which will lead to a bit of confusion among his demons. Thinking about this, it would be way better for Pandora's actor to go in, kidnap Kazuma, and pretend to be him, in order to misdirect Aqua's party, or to transform into Ainz Ooal, take a deep breath, and then go full-on Darth Vader on Megumin. And after quoting Star Wars, this Crimson Demon might actually switch sides in pursuit of ultimate destructive power. But of course, the direct approach would also succeed. If Ainz sends in Rubedo along with the main fighting force of the 8th floor and Victim to hinder the party from escaping, victory could be brutally swift and swiftly brutal. So yeah, in the best scenario, Aqua's probability of winning against Ainz Ooal Gown is in the single digits. And even if she managed to kill Ainz, the Floor Guardians could resurrect Ainz without any level loss, either through the means of a particular strong item or to the sacrifice of Yggdrasil gold. So Ainz could come back with full strength, while Aqua has no such backup. So one way or another, even in the best case scenario, Aqua will be defeated. And with Aqua dead or captured, Ainz could create a permanent elite tier undead, such as a Death Emperor, by drawing on the experience stored in Mare's world-class item. Or alternatively, he could use Aqua skin to create high-tier scrolls. Out of the two options, the second one is, at least in my opinion, more preferable, since additional forces could be summoned via the mercenary system of Nazarick, and the strength of the Great Tomb is already and quite literally otherworldly. But the Sorcerer Kingdom has, as of yet, no access to materials for high-tier scrolls. Normal human skin is simply unable to bear the brunt of high-class magic. So Aqua might be a welcome addition to the Happy Farm, and not nearly as problematic to handle as La Latina. But again, there might be a problem with this happy ending. Aqua's minimalistic intelligence stat, to be polite, might curse any scrolls with a intelligence debuff. Something like that happened to one of the Lizardman chiefs. The Dragonbone armor reduced his intelligence in exchange for protection. So something like this might temporarily happen if a scroll made from Aqua skin is used. But despite Aqua being Aqua and Aqua being repeatedly skinned alive for all eternity, there's a silver lining to this pitch-black horizon. Aqua could find a quantum of solace in the certainty that she, for once, is not the biggest idiot in this world. This questionable honor falls to the ever-so-just Remedios Custodio, an idiot even Aqua could mock, without being a total hypocrite. And with all of that said, I hope you enjoyed this somewhat light-hearted theory video. And again, all of this was just a what-if scenario, and shouldn't be taken too seriously. But nevertheless, I like the idea behind this thought experiment. And while we're at it, I just wanted to say thank you for all the nice comments and the amount of support I get from this community. It's really great to scroll through the comments and the theories and the input you deliver. So once again, thank you. And if you want to see more of my light-hearted videos, please check out my other channel. Link is in the description. And with that said, have a nice day. Over and out.